Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets hidden within corporate filings. And today we've got Vor Biopharma Inc. On the chopping block, prepare yourselves for a major shakeup at this biotech firm. And spoiler alert, there's a new chief in town and some long-time friends are saying goodbye. So what exactly is Vor Biopharma all about? Well, they're a biopharmaceutical company focused on developing and commercializing cancer therapies using a pretty unique approach called cell therapy. They're working on treatments that engineer a patient's own cells to fight cancer, not exactly a walk in the park, but when it works, it can be a game changer. Now let's get straight to the juicy stuff. The very first thing we see is that one of their directors, Sven Bill Antti Lundberg, has stepped down. It says here that his resignation was effective. Immediately and importantly, it wasn't due to any disagreements with the company. So no boardroom drama to report there. Just a simple goodbye, and the company wanted to thank him for his years of service. Now, while losing a board member can sometimes signal trouble, this one seems like a clean break. But here's where things get really interesting. The company has brought in a new chief development officer, Ching Zhuo. And let me tell you, her resume is impressive. She's got over 25 years of experience leading big global clinical development programs focusing on autoimmune, inflammatory, and immunologic diseases. That's basically a fancy way of saying she knows how to get drugs. Before joining Vor Bio, she was the Chief Development Officer at Remigen, where she was a key leader in getting a drug called telitacicept approved for several conditions like lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. Her track record also includes leadership roles at big names like Janssen Research and Development and Teva Pharmaceutical Industries Limited. She's even been involved in getting drugs approved by the US FDA, so she's definitely not new to this game. Now, of course, with the new top-tier hire like this, there's a compensation package to talk about. Dr. Zhuo is getting a starting annual salary of $500,600, which is a solid number. Then there's a target annual bonus of 40% of her salary, meaning if things go well, she could make a lot more. Plus, she's getting a $2,000 signing bonus, which is pretty sweet, but there's a catch. She has to pay it back if she leaves within the first 2 years under certain conditions. And the incentives don't stop there. She's also receiving a substantial number of stock options, specifically over 43 million of them, and restricted stock units. That's a huge incentive for her to make sure the company does well financially, meaning her personal wealth will grow if the stock price goes up. This aligns her interests directly with the shareholders, which is generally a good sign. What happens if she's let go? Well, if the company fires her without a good reason, or if she quits for a good reason, she'll get a nice severance package. This includes 12 months of her salary and continued health insurance, which is pretty standard in case of a change in control, meaning if the company gets bought out or merges, those benefits get even better with 18 months of salary and accelerated stock vesting. But the changes don't end with the executive team. The board of directors is also getting a boost. They've added 2 new directors, Michel Dethoz and Alexander Combo to be precise. This expands the board from 8 to 10 members. These are independent directors, meaning they don't have a day-to-day role in running the company, but they'll be there to provide oversight and guidance. Let's talk about Dr. Michel Dethoz. He's currently the CEO of ERTO's Therapeutics, and he actually co-founded it back in 2011. He's led the company from a small research stage to a significant clinical development company, raising a massive 1.2 billion, including a successful IPO on NASDAQ. He even negotiated a major deal with GlaxoSmithKline. This guy clearly knows how to build and grow a biotech business. Then there's Alexander Combo. He's the president and CEO of Solid Biosciences before that he was at Avante Bio, and he also held senior roles at Sarepta Therapeutics, a company that's made significant strides in gene therapy. He's also on the board of other biotech companies like Climb Bio and Verve Therapeutics. So he's bringing a wealth of experience in leadership and strategy to Vor Biopharma. As for how these new directors will be compensated, they'll receive the company's standard package for non-employee directors. This typically includes a cash retainer, which is $4,000 for their service as directors payable quarterly. And they'll also get stock options. To be exact, they received options to buy 60,000 shares of the company's stock on July 16th, and they'll get more options annually moving forward. This is another way to ensure their interests are tied to the company's success and shares of the company's stock on July 16th, and they'll get more options annually moving forward. This is another way to ensure their interests are tied to the company's success. Now, the company also issued a couple of press releases to announce these changes. They put out one on July 17th about Dr. Zuror's appointment and another on July 21st about the new directors joining the board. These are just public announcements to keep everyone informed about what's happening at the company. And finally, the report includes the standard cover page with interactive data, which is how these filings are submitted electronically for easier analysis. Now let's look at the bigger picture and try to understand what all these changes might mean for Vor Biopharma. The company is making some significant moves. They're bringing in a highly experienced chief development officer who has a proven track record of success in getting drugs approved. This is a really positive sign for a biotech company because development and regulatory approval are everything. The addition of two seasoned directors like Dr. Detruz and Mr. Cumbo also signals a strategic strengthening of the board. They've both led successful biotech companies and understand the challenges and opportunities in the industry. This expertise can be invaluable in guiding Vor Biopharma through its growth phases. However, it's also important to remember that these are changes that aim to drive future growth and success. Right now, they're not reporting any major financial results in this specific filing, which is common for an 8K report, which is typically used for significant corporate events, not routine financial performance. The focus here is on the leadership and board changes. The significant stock options granted to Dr. Zuror indicate the company is heavily investing in her and believes she can unlock substantial value. This also means that the company's stock price performance going forward will be crucial for her compensation and for shareholder returns. So what's my take on all this? Vor Biopharma is clearly in a phase of executive and directorial enhancement. They're bringing in proven talent to steer the ship. This signals a proactive approach to advancing their pipeline and navigating the complex biotech landscape. The risks are always present in biotech with the inherent uncertainties of drug development and regulatory hurdles. Landscape data and experienced board members, they are positioning themselves for a stronger future. The real question will be how quickly Dr. Zuror can translate her expertise into tangible progress for Vor Biopharma's therapies, and whether the new directors can provide the strategic guidance needed to capitalize on the company's potential. What's your take on these executive and board appointments? Let me know in the comments below, and if you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate finance and strategy. And don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.